You kicked me out of corporate and ascertained that I cannot go back. Lingragile, nkareke pohofol, with your hind legs, nochal. Mistreated me like I wasn't even human. Acted like I didn't break bread with you, go to braais together, clubbing. Acted like we didn't sleep in the same bed. Acted like we did not know each other's parents. Acted like if people died, people were gonna cry. Y'all acted like anaz azang lang tseba nkare le fula ka kin asinex batho ka sinex lanketsa an enemy, a mortal one at that. Halet ka mobile batla go lonketsa gore ke lo booka di appointment mo di calendeng tsa lona tsa go bola o lo tsaya mosadi kaofela wa nkutla. That is an entire professional thriving women's ukuthi ayo check if calendar yakho in a slot esivuliwe for a client. Y'all are trying to do that to me, but I am finally putting my foot down. Haletlong nyontsha la nkutla aka le kopa nna mosebetsi haletlong tsheriantsha la nkutla halong tshegisa nna ka South Africa e kaofela azang ngauqela mina umsebenzi le kana le kang chikisa nna ka South Africa e kaofela la khoza mme waka hore a khole mo miriring waka nkare ke attack cause na ha ke batlo loba administrator. Do it, sisters. But now I'm finally getting to a point lankutla where I have seen ka matlhaka I lead to ore ha bane morena just on ha tlong restore to project management at a minimum. Ha bane ha tlong fa mosebetsi ko IQ business as a management consultant. Ha bane modimo ha tlong kenya ko McKinsey as a consultant. Ha bane modimo ha tlong fa mosebetsi wa tshwanelang. It's not his intention or nna ke le gutlela ntse ke le busy ke scanner access card ko company e ke tlo dilang ka Daniel in the Lion's Den volume 2 VFA volume 2.0 Daniel in the Lion's Den, sabotaging a person's career. God might not have audibly told me, I want you to leave corporate, baby girl. But he caused it. God caused it. I tried to go back decently. I even tried to settle. Buying digestive biscuits on an online store. Approved. On a list of vendors by the company that I work for. You can only procure from this outlet, Karabo. You can only procure from here. You can only procure from there. You can't just order stuff from Woolies, Karabo. We have to go through Pick and Pay because that is an approved vendor. Yeah, never again am I gonna have to learn who is an approved vendor for a company because I gotta make sure that I buy Mario biscuits from there. Never again. Go reka di Orion na ko Pick and Pay fela because I kgone reka ko Woolworths because that's information that I strangely know. Ever again. I am not ever again going to be booking anybody's parking but my own. And even then out of convenience because I don't have time to be waiting for an assistant to be booking my parking. Never again am I going to scan the ecosystems of company boardrooms to see what's available. So my boss can comfortably, cushy, plug in her laptop to a projector because she is going to be presenting a PowerPoint, making sure that the boardroom has got that projector because other boardrooms don't have it. So does this boardroom have that feature? If not, I guess I can't book it. Never again am I going to have to concentrate on stupid details like those concerning booking a boardroom for a boss. Unless, of course, it's me booking that boardroom for my own meeting. Nobody is going to take me back like R. Kelly to rudimentary places. Oh, listen to this. This is what I'm trying to get at, right? That caused the loss of my career in the first place. If you are one of the mutineers against me, you are not going to be getting me ordering t-shirts for the team for a team building for you. Lord, lankutla, amaphupho enu ande, amaphupho enu adip, amaphupho enu angcono akagqokanga ipenti. Abuke ukarabo ngeyibambo ngoba they like walking around butt naked. Amaphupho enu ashapile sitshwetla adunosile la emgaqweni akugena mayitseo abathanda impahla awathandi impahla amaphupho enu. And so because I into public indecency amaphupho enu asizowa respect thina siyobiza abogata ukuthi bayombosha lo muntu obusy asflasha la ephakini while we are jogging. Amaphupho enu a high and lofty kodwa ayoboshwa ever. Lo patwa, lo fitlhwa, lo bolokwa. Le ka lora. To think gore modimo o tlo tsaya 70 ya gage e rapetseng a botlhoko ga kana ka di tongues a fastile di jara sa ruri day and night bosigo ga roba lo ra rapela a lo tsaya motho a lo mo odisa di t-shirt tsa lwa tse bodileng tsa team building. You are not going to do that. Ke ha le ka lora la nkutlo just because ga kena mmereko ene ke sutlegile and I keep on getting harassed by boloi ba lona bo sataneng does not mean or na modimo ntlogetse. It means gore o tlogetse lena ke lona. I'm not forsaken. I can't be. Ke mzalwane o feletseng ling phukuditse lorang. What of me looks like ifukutsegile mo? Don't I look like pampegile ke pompegile? Don't I look like le tire le pompegile na le moyo o feletseng? I am pumped up, just not in the fields you anticipated. Let's ka lebala gore ke lorile. Let's ka lebala gape gore ke rapetse. I prayed for a career. I did. And nna modimo wa ka, he's not in the business of gong ignore. Angizibwa mina, I'm just made to wait. A crucible for silver, the furnace for gold, but the Lord detests the heart. Let's buga my patience and think ukuti and equate it lankutra for abandonment. You might think ukuti forsaken, go by 10 years yonke indlulile, but that's the thing about microwave babies. You want it and you want it now. So 10 years and born, you can't fathom how anything can ever give for a person. Oh, you mean 10 years go fail. You can't fathom it. You can't fathom umuntu ame 20 years yonke for Jesu. You can't see it. Ngoba angikwazi ukuma nina self. You can't. So 20 years, you feeling that you God uba abandonile, God of which is eternal. From eternity past, eternity future, does he exist? Do you understand? Nothing created him. So motago o creatile nago Grandshap. He created time. Bese nizombounder in chains of by the time I turn 40, I must be established. He is the God of Sarah Hlongwane past age lankutla. Joseph Oemile was it what 15 years go Egypt before ever prime minister. David Oeme, how long? Was it 20 years? Moses 22 years. David Moses 40. Blomang kopa leska tlo buka Karabo anza blomile nako e kaofela 10 years kaofela e feta ke tsaetswe career it appears ke sa gone go tlela morago go corporate ebe le na rona leng loile successful ha ka ta mobile to etsa witchcraft engwe e extra hung foster rona ke lo order di digestive biscuits tsa lona guys. Yes, like it. O ka ba le mona ga kana to a point o tla batla foster motho a tlogele YouTube channel ya gago gore a tlo scanner your freaking calendar to book a meeting for you. You see, the thing in borang ke ha batho ba graduate to ditlhare jwanong to boloi to try and manipulate a circumstance. That's what gets to me. Lona keini ele tlhoeleng able le mamela. Listen, you hate those who wait on God. You hate those who give God a perfect sacrifice. You're the one that gives God a blemished sacrifice. Kwena oling Sunday school teacher go Grace Bible Church marons o lawyer your fellow Sunday school teacher. Ha ka ta mo botlo officiate o babana. Ke lona baling di ashara ka Sontaga mara Wednesday u busy ntso chaketsa sangoma about a friend. Yini lapho? Yini abo Cain anisboni. Hala shaba spilling khale bon. You are Cain. And so therefore of course when somebody has not invested in ditlhare tsa tsona tsa go swaba. Le tlo mo tlhoela taba hore o emetse modimo 15 years kaofela. Lo tlhoela David go ema 22 years. Lo tlhoela Moses Moshe for waiting 40 years. Lo tlhoela Joseph for waiting 12 years. Lo tlhoela Hannah for praying until she gets a baby instead of singing a sangoma. Lo tlhoela bana ba morena Jesu for go rapela le go ema lantse ba utlwile botlhoko lankutla rather than to go ayo vakashela isangoma ya bola la emkaqweni. Ke lona le tsherianeng le mixitseng Christianity le nyoko ya lona all over the show. La cause batho ba lo ba dizzy ko officing. Cause thing di career tsa di colleagues tsa lona tse innocent. Ha le kata mobile ba le the brazen bravado and audacity go losa magolo hira motho ona feletse kaofela e le business analyst or a tlo buka di calendar tsa gago a lo order di digestive biscuits because you caused them to sit go gae for 10 years kaofela sa msebetsi. O cause ngwana batho hore a tlo scanner di grocer go Pick n Pay. Ele hore ona qadile ele consultant ele financial analyst janong motho teng o skena di grocer because that's the only person that will see the etle modimo ga tlo tlogela bana ba batho ebe di arama skepse le ga botloko ga kana ba lo hlaswa. It's written in God's word he will not embarrass us. He's not going to cause us to be put to shame nor condemned when brought to trial. So you who are trying like Nebuchadnezzar girl ka o ka loja dust le roll le re breakfast it's a jungle oats or di Kellogg's e ja dust wankutla obe o phaphame o tsogo o recognize hore the nations of this world are accounted as nothing before Emmanuel and no one can say to him what have you done. Ana motho tlo tsang modimo go entseng ke filang ka re the way o nkentseng ka teng e potara ha go it's not giving even though you are the pottery potter do it. I'm not feeling indaba yokuthi you made me less intelligent than Karabo. I'm not feeling indaba yokuthi you gave Karabo a strong career and a degree. Ame bathong you can't say to God wenseng mara ke mo le tshelo akere le buditse modimo ana re wenseng Karabo for eng gana degree mara ke mo busy tsa fofa mona nkare ke nyanyana ele project manager ga so fetse degree ya hae mara o busy ntso mo promote rona re khathetse go bona nyoko eo ebeleng apruta he bathong. Nebuchadnezzar said the nations of this world are counted as nothing before Emmanuel. No one can say to him what have you done, and yet you said to God what have you done with Karabo. Well, he's about to answer you. Aha, I'm in the heavens, I do whatever I please, and if I was hungry I wouldn't tell you. If God was hungry he wouldn't tell you, and yet you're asking him wenseng. Hey guys, you are arrogant. Le arrogant. Le taba hore le nkutlela botlhoko is just exquisitely pompous lankutlo. E arrogant. Ha ke tsebo gore le ka utlela botlhoko motho jwang that is in right standing with God. Anare a se position ya ka nna ya o lutlela botlhoko lena because a se lona lo chang di hele. A se lona di kentseng mai ko frying paning. Ase lona li bailing in bad water le modimo of the universe. Ase lena le tsaileng 70 ya gage la moravaza for 10 years e bele zama go moetsa gore a lo order di digestive biscuits tsa lona. Isn't it you who has done that thing? Are you not able? Are you not Cain? Sorry, that's the thing about Cain. Wa phela motho wa teng, wa abutwa teng madi a gage alla a tsholotsweng ko modimo. Abel was the one who was dead, while Cain was able to go and live out there. What happened with Cain? Please, let's have a discussion, y'all. I get a little naive. I naivety ba lona gore le lona le tlogona o phapha majaka ha Nebuchadnezzar adds I eventually o phapha a million. A re le tso seng makandeng dintswato utlwellang ne Cain o phetse a ka bola butwa teng. Modimo didn't immediately strike him dead, did he? No, that didn't happen. If anything, Cain wa teng o tletse ka ba bitsang this thing. I can see how in the world you can be a coward o qeta bola ya motho. Ona le kwa baba. Ona tsugile di guy. Atshaba le fatshe ka montle ka fale on some. If you kick me out of my mother's countryside, my daddy's land, batho ka montle ka mola ba mbona ba tlong bolai. Nana o lo rapela ko modimong o bolaetseng ngwana gage o mo bolaetseng ngwana. O rapela ko modimo o mo bolaetseng ngwana. Le mametse guys, are you listening? Ning mametse le reditse. Are you tuning in? Le lo rapela ko modimong o le mmolaetseng ngwana. Le lo lallo complain or no mara nna ha o kang go ba mona ka ya ka montle ko bolao. He bathong Cain. How molai keng? He? Hano ntse le bizong ka letlapa o lo tlobara butwa ga go to death wa sa nahana ka taba gore ka montle ka mole ba teng batho ba bang ba tlobarang. Wa sa nahana ka taba gore ka montle ka mole hona le batho bo bona ba ka go trapa, bona ba ka go tumpa ka shamboko, bona ba ka go sega ka phafa. Why didn't you think about that, Cain? But anyway, whatever. Ke a bona gore wa boifa lefatshe ka fantle ka fa. I'll give you a mark on your body so that anybody that tries to strike you uzobhoda yena self. Tsamaya he. Le rapella modimo wa ka wa Karabo, wa bazalwane, the God of the saints. When then God is telling you get out of this country because you were kicked out of it for killing your brother Abel, you then are like, but God, people are going to kill me. The audacity, the audacity. Yo khala ngemejo snot and trane santing ko modimo o mo bolaetseng ngwana. Mara that's the thing, God is gracious, right? So kopanje fela le ska shebanang on the left and on the right. Le taba gore modimo has let you live even though le bolaile ngwana hae. That's not the conclusion or the evidence of your safety before him. He is gracious. He is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. So jaka ga Cain without even having thought about that before killing his brother, God will protect you. Unso tsubile matekwane ule sirla moon. Unso senya mo tsamayang teng o ravaza, because herein lies the deal. Modimo pula, it rains on both the righteous and on both the wicked. Rain falls on the righteous and on the wicked, because that's just our God. You will harvest crop at the same time as the righteous, because modimo ha tshwanele satane wa lona o utswang fela o killang o destroyang. Ase mmolai fela wa ha tsaye nje fela ha impetuous. That's what I'm getting at. He's not hasty nje fela until busy a shapisa phafa ya gage, wielding his power like a power hungry tyrant. No, that's not God. O patient. Ha etse dintho jwalo. That's what you must understand. So even though you are evil and you deserve punishment, our God will still take care of you. Modimo o na le reputation ya tlhokomela batho ba entseng di sirla moon la nkutla out of bana ba hae. People that went and devastated his sons and daughters. O ya banakekela buka shebang stories tsa Joseph hle. Ui, ha letse bo re letila ka mang batho. Bonang Joseph. Bo abuti ba teng ke mo they set up u Joseph wa bantu for basically the end of his life. They set him up for failure. First they tried to kill him and it didn't work. They plotted to kill him. That didn't work. All right, God, of course, he had to live. Mara, he was then sent into Egypt. If you read the stories of Judah, Gad, Naphtali, Zebulun, if you read their stories all across the scriptures, how God just keeps protecting them over and over and over and over again. And the be-all and end-all of protection is when they finally went to Egypt to get some food during a famine. And then God made them see Joseph. What you intended for evil, God has used it for good, the saving of many lives. That's just God. That is God. That is God in your face. Only look at Esau. Guys. Jacob I have loved, yet Esau I have hated. Mara azang modimo a restore Esau to great riches. Azang are obuti tue o ska tlolla ntho a butwa wa o yentseng yona go gofa di riches and you're going to become a great nation. Edom, otherwise known as Esau, is written off altogether. They're not going to exist in the millennial reign. God did not want him. Hamorati Esau. Jacob I have loved, yet Esau I have hated. Mara modimo mo tlhokometse. O mo tlhokometse ke mo. Another story, like epic example. Sarah, Hagar, Ishmael. Ke Islam kaofela e kopane ke mo ba ntse ba busy ba re behead ko the Middle East. Mara modimo a se ko tlhokomela Ishmael mo ko wildernessing le mme wa teng. After Sarah, thanks to Sarah's indiscretion, I will admit, kicked her out. Modimo tlhokomela the enemies even of God's people, because like I said yesterday, the Lord has set apart everything for its purposes, including the wicked for the day of trouble. So just because ba go ba maleri le se ya towe mo ezing does not mean hore wa ratwa, or that you have been approved, or that modimo o grande ka wena. Just because you are able to harvest a field does not mean that you are blessed and highly favored. It just means that God reigns on both the wicked and the righteous. In due season he will judge. O patient, o slow to anger. O batla gore le repente grandshapa mara ale sa bicycle msa teng etle. We don't believe ukuthi Cain is in heaven. O tshireleditswe ngwana batho, a protectwa from go bolawa. A loetsa di descendants, mara kaofela di descendants tsa gagwe di tlhokafetse ko flooding ya Noah. He was not chosen. Who was chosen was Seth. That's the lineage of Noah. That's who was chosen. Abel was righteous. God said ukuthi it was accounted unto him as righteousness to cry out to him from the ground. Because we never really truly die, we are eternal. Abel was loved. Seth was loved. Cain hated. But Cain was protected from death. He was able to proliferate his lineage until he was wiped out from the face of the earth by the flood, like I said. Just because God has kept you alive and thriving with your heart beating, unzo qala business, unzo kraya di cliente, unzo ragile Karabo to the curb, making her unable to start anything new, does not mean o ratilwe. Just because Karabo tlhokafetse na madi a gagwe a lla ko modimong from the ground does not mean or wena as Cain, who has a mark on your body that prevents people from killing you, that you're favored. Le shebile the wrong things. Modimo ga bereke the way that you think lankutla. Just because you have been spared does not mean that you are safe in the sight of God. Even Asaph will complain, Psalm 37 hore. Why do the wicked keep on spreading themselves fat? Why do the wicked continue to grow and grow and grow? And while they get rich, why do they prosper? Ralla re dikeledi tse imelang tse bokete ga botlhoko gampe ralla ka taba re ga ona justice in these streets obaneng batho ba ntse ba le busy ba tipsinya ba ba stotla. Why do you keep on growing, evil people? Why? It's not because God got you. Don't call yourself blessed and highly favored because you still got a job, because you started a business that's thriving. You're just Cain with a mark on your body. Ultimately, you will have to account for the blood of your brother Abel. Do not mistake it at all. Waabuti ba Joseph had to stay alive for the purposes of God. All those who betrayed God's kids, some of them bayaphila long lives because they gotta. Because the Lord has set apart everything for its purposes, including the wicked for the day of trouble. Do not look at your prosperity, O wicked one. Having started a whole career, don't think that because when you are marathoning, you're sprinting, that Mudimu is looking at you with any kind of favor. Le busy le populate le dikereke le sa motsebo modimo le ntse le tshisa dikerese le bolaya batho ka di satanic ritual ha o ka mo le ko kerekeng ka Thursday ke lona mo le tsamaileng teng mo o dula o le ko di ministries are helping you, are always in food drives. You've even adopted 2 kids the way we're not all such an altruistic rando. Mara, you've got a trail of blood, a trail of cadavers behind you. Morago o sile batho ba tlhokafetse ko highwaying o bolaile batho ba 20 just to get to one Christian ke lona mo. Mara o sheba career ha when you think ukuthi o fitile aka le kopa nna gore lonketsa hore ke lo reka di digestive biscuits tsa lona la nkutlo. I didn't ask that from you. I didn't ask for a job. I wasn't sitting around on some I need a job, I'll take anything. I was sitting around waiting for a God who I feel said to me, just by mere virtue of not letting me get my job again in corporate South Africa, that I should leave corporate. I got to a place of conviction. Anyway. Never get of my own volition. Man's about Nakerata comfort yakakang. Kito Valanja feel like Lokra Mosebezi apartment di opatalwa ke eng or ke mang ke so mang rente. Koreka ning di cake tsa ka tsa go ulwetse ke di ratanza chocolate le carrot. Koreka ning KFC ya ka koreka ning pizza ya ko endichio. E designer ya 250 rand ko reka ning. Ne ke rata my comforts lankutla. Manala a ka nail manicure French with tips. Jaga ga ke na such stumpy fingers. Nkare ke cut treat di fate tsa kerilweng di fate tsa khatilweng tsa chopilweng. I had to have fingernails. I had to get a French manicure with tips. I was always with those fake nails all up in my grill, and I was excellent at typing despite them. Ke mang na o tlong rekelang di tipi tsa French manicure. Ke sna msebetsi. Never ne ke tlogela msebetsi guys, never. I was never the kind of spoiled brat and just feel to half and puff walk out of a job. Ke rata manala aka hakana. The chocolate le carrot cake ya go ulwetse. Ke mang o tlo rekang ne rente yo patalwa ke mang di sofa tsa aka tsa ko Rochester di patalwa ke mang. Ke mang. I would never have quit my job nje. Ningiqoshile ningazokhohlwa nine amnesia ngifila ngathi niyakhohlwa kalula nje. Lenkubile dintswa Linkubile ke le very comfortable, ke le happy o lo bloma mo mosebetsing o ke borwang ke boss. I've had horrible bosses all throughout my career. Wankut bang borang, bang appraisang wrong. Basas buying skele msaka lantse ke sebetsa ka that. Mara ho tsamaya nje fela cause yang Kenya toucherie or outie. Atle. Iseng ke rata di manicure tsa ka ha botlhoko hakana. So jaka ha ke sa kgone tsa manicure walking around with my stumpy fingers, I realized that God must have been the one to see it fit to not give me a manicure for a decade. Mudimu did that. The Lord did that. No, not you, okay? Delusions of grandeur. Lebala. All of y'all trying to take credit for what happened to me, but no. The Lord has set apart everything for its purposes, including the wicked for the day of trouble. This here is Jesu Kriste. Mudimu is written all over this. His fingerprints are all over it. The smoking gun is in his hands. The Lord is the one that has decreed every last loss that I would endure in my lives. But guess what? You're the wicked set apart for that day of my trouble. So Cain Towe, when I wasn't able to walk around in the streets, got mark on your body. Horoska abola, horoska tunzwa, obuti. When I was having tunya, even though udlanzo tunya mostrateng. When I was AK-47 mara, how about the bullet moara your own skull? How about the bullet molingwelling? Mara when I siku tunya indiscriminately into the sky. Mudimo oho protectile for such a time as this. Mara oska tlotipa pride nyana o tipsinye ka tabarwana wa ratwa ha wa ratwa buti o iso o fiwa di riches while you are still alive. Mara you will be wiped off from the face of the earth. You are Cain lankutlo. You are Cain, that's all you are. So nna ke le ngenga mo lifeng kopa le remember le recall le recognize hore ha ka le kopa mosebetsi. And jaka hali filang ka rena le tlo ntse le nchikisa ka mme wa ka because le batla go nketsa gore nna ke lo scanner di grocer or nna ke lo buka di meeting tsa lena or nna ke lo buka parking ya lena or nna ke lo buka di board room tsa lena or nna ke lo order from one particular online store because it's been approved by procurement for the meeting tsa lona or the client tsa lona nna tshwantse di boele nna hore ke ba bukele parking. Jaka hali filang ka re that's what I'm going to do. Lo hlazwa morena Jesu kena ongtshitseng ko corporate, even though it looks nkarekelena. It might look like it's you, but recognize the invisible fingerprint of God on this smoking gun. The Lord is the one that set you up to finish yourselves off lankutla. Cain, you've got a mark on your body. That's why you were able to get promoted to senior manager. Nobody can kill you, even though wena umulai omungu o hard knock. O palated Bundy, serial killer tsa mo strateng Jack the Ripper Grenshapo wa batumpa. O Ravaza, Moses Sitol, Hannibal Lecter, ain't got Jack on you. Umulai, o sejabana, that's what you are. Maranzo pilamona, harvesting crop, because that's just what the wicked do, they prosper. Marleska bona bazalwane ba sotlegile, them appearing to not come up for air and think ukuthi thina ke siyekelwe ngusomandla igazi lethu liyakhala zinja. And God has heard. That's just the thing. It's all about what you eventually become and not so much what you in the interim are. Cain was protected from death, but he is not in heaven today. So too, have you been spared for being exposed by South Africa for being sikebekwa mara busy when we pizza senior manager. Bottom line is, it's not about what you are on this earth and in the interim phase what you can acquire. It's about being known by God. Can he say of you nyagazi Karabo? Or is he going to tell you, depart from me, worker of iniquity, I never knew you? Umangwena, anaro okoza madia banaba morena josoro balle from the ground. Are you Abel or are you Cain? If you are Cain, do not look at your survival as evidence of God having your back. Rain falls on the righteous and on the wicked. Janong jaka khale batla na re ke lo hira disutu folona so you can go to a business meeting. This is what I gotta say. I didn't. And for you to go long lawyer jwanong gore ke lo accept a nyoko eleng fanyona ke mo teng he ke tlo futang madi ke lo futang tlhogo ke lo tswa boladu a ke tsebe ba bitsang mollo kotuka man ntlogeleng ka ditlhare o neng le busy ka nna ke kgathetse ko ba tormented ga ko ipolaya le teng ga ko tshaba ntho ele etsagalang so much ga ko tshaba ntho etsagalang so much that I'm gonna actually go out of my way to go apologize or lo tsa anything that comes in my stride because na ke sotlegile ke tsotlego. I never askisi ya lona a ke ding because ga iteng your attempted rescue making yourself a little bit of a messiah ga ke tshepi because onkerelang na administrator for what? Why tshwantse nna ntse ke le busy ke lo aina di aparo tsa lena when I've already done the time? Why? Look, I'm getting to a point, okay? I've recognized now that I need to stand boldly on my rights. I'm sick and tired of pining over people that give me opportunities and then tracked back. And then abakadamo when they feel frustrated with my continued fervor for Jesus, not anymore. And le teng ga go khutlela morago because somebody o tletseng ka satane o tshirianeng felt like that's what needed to happen. Le borwa ke creativity yaga, it would not have even been birthed as bountifully as it has if you did not kick me out of corporate. Like I said, I was a suit. I was happy to be boring behind a desk and take a twirler on some spinning chair for a career without ever being eccentric, got fake makeup, le septum piercing, le all different kinds of weird stuff on my face. I would never have gone on right ahead to be as creative and colorful as this if you had just left me twirling on a chair in corporate. You should have just left me walking down the aisle from my cubicle to the next one, asking people, where is this particular document? I would have done that for the rest of my career. I wasn't even interested in a career out there as a singer, something creative, a content creator. It was always a hobby, my creative side. My blog, after hours. Publish if I can, write if I can, because really the first thing here that I'm doing is my job. But I said the other day, Lanka Akraya, a 9 to 5 in corporate, it will always be a side hustle because the main thing will now be my creative thing. You made me create an alternative source of a career. Lingravazitse, kalahlegelwa ke yonke into la emgaqweni. Ka sotlega to a point of no return. Ka se crime mereko ko batla high and low. It took dijara lankutlu. Azanka lebalaga corporate after a year, or maybe just a couple of months. It took years. I eventually embraced Uguti, God, clearly. Noma angashongo, kamantswe that were audible. Clearly uchilora hang patliko corporate. I got to that place. I saw it. Kiboni. Neneva nake quita msebetsi waka self because like I said, ki tatela manala. Aker. Nenev. Maralinkubile hakatamo langpata kole kasingine. Lankinya in the ground, ebelebe ya semente, le sof, mogodima le bitlala ka gore ke ska tswa hape, ka tswa. Anyway, cause I kere ke Modimu's disciple. Madi aka lile from the ground, Cain, Abel who died. And the Lord enabled me to at least break a hole out of my casket. And that hole was my creative work. It was a place for me to basically speak my heart about what's going on here. Kashera pelo yaka. Guys, I went underground, but I still carried on with the creative work. YouTube. This time around, to monetize because I realized that corporate there was a time when I was working at Wits Bankense administrator again. I spoke about that. Crash. Was inspired by nothing but the Bathsheba syndrome. Looking at a woman on Twimbo amfunayo, kota that he can't grasp, and so he becomes abusive. I've had my fair share of nonsense at corporate as well. Ever since I lost my job go MTN, it's like something jefela. I can't beg guys. Have you ever tried to feed umtwana, a baby? Ubisi, achots. You know how leleme la bona le tla go bora? Le bize lo antsha titi ya teng o sa mmeto we kopa o ntlogele nna ke feditse ka lebese. Corporate did that to me eventually. There was a time when I was drinking it or it was drinking me like milk, a thirsty, hungry baby. But then somewhere along the way, pushing out the baby teeth. And ever since then, I've never been able to put that milk teeth again in my mouth. I have never been able to return to corporate, not safely, not soundly. That's what you must understand. It ran its course. It's what I'm getting at. I did my time like a prisoner, but like Shawshank Redemption, it looks like I gotta break out now. Like brick by brick. I gotta break out now. Nzekili busy. Kahaba. Nzekinta santa. Mu samente. Mole mating. Mole boteng. Ki Michael Schofield at this point. Go prison break. You go to guys. I'm gonna break out of this prison because I ain't got no other choice. I corporate. I ke hotel. Ising because ke khetile. O neng ntse ke zama hotel. Ke mo ntse ke le busy nganya junction. Ntse ke lo go career junction ke go pinete. Ntse ke apply and every time I apply for miracle as an administrator bloka e pa botlhoko ha ke apply for project manager ke feel nkare ke writing yana mara ke bangotlong fonelang after 10 years of unemployment ka mo site ka mo ke busy ke loa ke batho ba batlang ngfa opportunity or not no I say opportunity I ba not long ke tsoro ke lo order di biscuit. It's not gonna happen. It's not an opportunity, it's an affront to God. That's what you must understand. Ke tlhalifile guys, too intelligent. Nna ke ntse ke le busy ke buka di calendar tsa batho ke di clear to see if at all somebody can find a slot in it. I ke khatetse ko nna ke tlo founelwa nna ke client ka montle na nkutlo e botsa hore boss ha o nka mmona neng a ke na taba ke a go mmotsa self for abuti because nna a ke PA ya DOT or ya D chicken. I'm not. I never chose this. It chose me. Ke khwilwe ke corporate South Africa ha mpatle, and the only reason is hang patleng is because God hang patle da. Ke zamme la nkutla guys ke zamme. It's not like I lacked so much humility that I would not even downgrade kezamme mara ga go sebetsa akambeki ngoba ngicole ngemanipulation. You are all over the show flying like birds le mekoko, flightless birds nogal. They're busy cackling around in corporate. There's a video that I did some time ago, literally speaking about how it is that corporate thing. It doesn't matter what new job you work, as soon as you walk through the door. You've only been working for this company for 2 weeks and already some idiot. That is the circus of corporate right now. And I would go so far as to say not just South Africa, but world at large. Also on YouTube, through satanic rituals. Oh, ba krae bona di subscribers. Ha ba etsa shorting yana ya go bora e tlo go etsang gore o yone. O tsele wa nkutlwa. O tlo nne o shebela 80,000 times over. We put why is short ena le di 80k views. In cause gore ke o tsela hakana. When I'm watching this short and yet it's got 80,000 views. Ke a thakatshwa la emkaqweni. Khwaloyiwa go tsaiwa di study wealthy. O thole YouTube channel engwe ya go bora or ba bua nyoko or motho a debudla rwaka ko channeleng. Mara only 175,000 views in the first 5 days. He nengaga 175,000 views. Are we born? Awontabadla greedily like gluttonous buckbangers. Out here amassing for themselves millions of views. Boloi. No quality to be identified in content and yet umuntu uyabukwa. It's being done everywhere. So because it's being done everywhere, it is therefore understandable that in spite of Uptagati boot printing you the moment you walk into corporate South Africa, God will put some Christians there anyway. Because if a problem is this ubiquitous, if an issue is all over, God is not going to take his saints out from everywhere, this world. For as long as the restrainer is not removed, we'll always have Christians in different sectors. But those that he keeps in corporate, but there are others that he calls out. Similarly too, on social media. Other content creators in the same niche, shoto ya bona e causang gore batho ba otsele. Etolang 80,000 views despite it being so boring. They're stealing all of those views from someone else on social media. But you see, God is the one that picks our battles. God is the one that says, Karabo, utlolwana ntwa, engwe e sira se tukang mollo e futumetseng. Go corporate. So I'm going to keep you there. And you are going to be resisted until you win a war. But if that's not where God is making you fight, honey, he's not going to keep you there. That there are enough Christians in corporate South Africa and ba busy extinguisher mello la nkutlo. Balwana di boss. Balwana le di colleague, balwana le di subordinates. Hana motho o sa ba ravazeng, hana motho o sa ba challenging, hana motho o sa zameng go ba tsaela position balwana. Modimo has seen it fit to leave them there. Mara nna o ntshitsa kere. Nna bang extractile. Nna ha eba ne ke lo tumpa ka boot print mo sfatlhegong se tlo khozang make mo sfatlhegong saka. It's not in corporate. Otherwise I would have stayed there. If I was supposed to be among the warriors in corporate, God would have kept me there. But there are many Cains, many Abels in corporate, that all of y'all keep on killing. In corporate, but Modimo has given them success in that space no matter what. But then there are others that God is like, okay, Karabo, me, I want you in this particular industry. This is where I want you. And this is where the outing and the 1 million views, even though he said nothing the whole time. I know where I'm sending you. You are not to fight a war in this corporate ugly environment. Or the digestive biscuits, the t-shirt, that's a team building. Or the printouts, it's a t-shirt, yeah, team building. No, that's not where you're gonna fight. That's for Tepo, that's for Temba, that's for Brian. You, my daughter, are going to fight social media. Because that's where I'm sending you. That's where I'm sending you. So the tantamount of the lackluster project manager that cost me my career is basically the tantamount, or is basically the equivalent of some lackluster YouTuber whose content sucks. But nonetheless, who is also getting viewed. I am fighting sharks where God sent me. Like I said. But where you fight is where God will prosper you, will thrive you, and will keep you even though girl. You will try to leave. If God wants you somewhere, you will try to start something else and God will take you back there. Where God boomerangs you, that's where he wants you. So that I keep on trying to grow a YouTube channel over and over and over and over again to no avail. What the views about? The subscriber as a project manager or even a management consultant. Business yaminaiza. Get it determined, or this is what I need to do. You that business, you in that business, you about that, you are that thing. The D-Day, la it, the guilty. It's literally that foundational and rudimentary and basic. But yours is not a war, though your arena is one that I graduated from. God extracted me. And so much that even somebody foster or busy all up in my having participated in the mutiny against me in the get-go. From the get-go. One of those that cost my career. Mara o batla jwanong lo nketsa rona ke lo mo orderela di biscuits tsa digestive. Le tlo ntseleng loya la nkutla. Le batla go nkhutlisa ko situationeng, mara modimo is going to be the one to block it. God is going to be the one to prevent it. La nkutla. I'm not supposed to be splitting my energies between some mundane job at Borang where I'm booking people's parking and also fighting this feverish, effervescent war on social media. I have one job and it's one job only, and it's this one. I am to make war with the filth and the satanism on social media, and also I am to successfully win souls in that space. Bona ba tsirianing the content creator tsa go tsaya di views tsa rona ba ntse ba otsetsa batho mo strateng. That's my audience. I am supposed to reach these little menacing bandits on social media for Christ. The ones that are competing with each other. I had my time ko corporate dealing rejectile. Plus you've got your own servants there. Tsamudim. Na lebo abele ba lona ba da. Ba teng. Eseng nna. Mara nna le ska tlong khutlisang morago le ntshore ka di washing inogal, forcing me to do a job esang tshwaneleng. I'm a creative now. I never would have been when I was going to be a suit for the rest of my days, but you said no. You said no because you thought you were in a position to say no, Aker. Le megalomaniacal. Lasang. You thoroughly imagined Duguti you could actually say no when God has said yes. He's the one that opens a door that no one can close and closes one that no one can open. So modimo o kwetse monyako wa corporate South Africa. Ke zamme go gutlela morago ke feditse. Ke zamme. And recently I thought I could go back to because somebody o batlile go foster gore ke ka moriri le washing. Ka hana mara ka foster anyway. Ka chikela go uploada content mo social media etlhegel. Wang chika ka nnete, unchikisa ka mme wa ka nnete. Bathong go bola ho kana ke tshilo ka re dipelo tsa lona ke mafito la nkutla. They are tied like a knot. Ke dikatla tsa acha. Dipelo tsa lona ke ditapole tsa phegiwang sentle or tse bodileng. Ke macaroni a la go stika to each other because a wa phega hantle or rice nka reng ke paste. Ke dipelo tsa lona mo di fitileng. Ene jaka galena le pelo tsa di chichibo ya so. Tse tswileng tseleng. What you must understand is that modimo on rescue from dipelo tseo tsa go ba maboya. Tse di tshila tse dark tse di fif. He's going to rescue me from the reputations that you have of being alive, even though the clock fits. You love to play God. You love to have messianic complexes, hero complexes, without even realizing o kopana le mozalwane o rapelang rapi o manifesta when o go ratang satan the demons. You're going to manifest such hard-knock demons that you're not going to be able to survive in the presence of a Christian. Mara la fosta because you think you got this, Akir. You think oro satane akale protector from tsunami amudim. No one can deliver from the hand of God, Mara. You think you can do a spell? Holo kamisa down umzalwane. Do you know how many people have cast intensity spells on me? Intensity reduction spells on me. Let me give brief explanation as to what that is. A spell cast in order to reduce the intensity of my ministry. Horekiska na so deep, man. Karabo be kind of shallow. Some of them I've seen them being moriwa ho relaxwa instead of afro, because afro I get intense, coiled, hard hokama. Mara Karabo eba me ministry ya gago ebe le glory ya relaxed hair instead of glory ya afro. Something that is manageable. Ero tlo kgonang ho fitisa ka maka yona without breaking miriri man. And yet murwaga wa bounce back to 4C all the time. 4C all the time. Ke afro hayi anyway. But people are trying to make me less intense. And yet, here it is that I am maintained in intensity. People keep on trying to alter the character, the personality of God's servants. But the Lord is the one that makes them intense. The Lord is the one that keeps us serious for the mission that He has given us. And seeing as a mission tends to be on one particular playing field, God is not going to split. Do you understand what I'm saying? Our energy and our effort between multiple arenas. He's not going to do that. Anyone order more digestive biscuits. He's going to be the one to press, what do they call a kill switch? Thank you. That's what the other day God called it, a kill switch. He's going to be the one to press the kill switch that's going to prevent someone from mission in Christ. Yeah, He is going to be the one to cause them to press their own kill switch button to basically spare God's child from being forced to do a job that they're not supposed to be doing. Azanka le kopa mosebetsi. Jaka gali kenze mi Messiah. You think gore ke lena Messiah, you think gore ke lena Modimo Godo, le Jesu lena, le batla go fitla le tlo rescue batho, ba le ba tumpileng ka poverty, because you feel guilty. You are like a Hegelian dialectic causing disaster. Man qeta lapho bese niyofuna ukuthi uyo rescue the very people that you orchestrated the kidnapping of. Modimo o pressa kill switch lankutwa. He's going to press the kill switch and he's going to make it impossible for you to rehire the person you got fired. He is going to make it impossible for you to altruistically offer magwenya le chips to a person that was already used to eating pizza le caviar. La re forced ntho tse re sa di batleng. Nna ke forced ka mme wa ka. Ke chikiswa ke mme wa ka. O nthreaten ka ntho tse telle tse ke sa di tlhaloganyeng. And once yena a pogile ang chikile because ke dependent on ene. Batho ba feelang ka rena ba ka nkgoga ka nko and do with me what they want. I ke sa batle mosebetsi ya go batle. God does not want me back in corporate, not because he told me audibly, but because he's the one that blocks it. And here it is again that it's happening. Utumpa kill switch. Yet again, God is pressing a kill switch on a corporate job that does not make sense. Jobs that did make sense, I did not get them. And those that don't make sense, I worked in them for 5 seconds and it just didn't end well. This time around, I'm not even going to set foot inside a building, Lankut. Not even once. I won't even set foot. That you might see how well protected by God I am. Let's get tipona lele right demonstrating is spreading yourselves like a green laurel tree. As wicked people, you will one day disappear, Lankut. If you don't repent, you will ultimately disappear. Lonyamel, la senya. Mole tsamayang teng in your wake, you are causing nukes, disasters, bomb blasts. Batho ba teng ba phelang, ba te whatever remaining survivors they are, ba tlhokafala ke radiation poisoning. La senya man. Hona le bazalwane ko corporate ba tla dilang ka lena mara nna I'm not supposed to be there. I am not going to break my heart again and apply for my sebetsi ke na le gap ya 10 years mo CV ke underestimate wa ke nyatswa. People looking at me like I stink. I'm not supposed to be there. I've garnered for myself experience right in this platform. Mo ke a tsibo gore ke mang ke tuka mollo even ke futhumetse. Mo my ministry ke forced to be reckoned with, so much so that I keep on getting harassed by yona YouTube ya teng. I keep on getting harassed to a point nka rena jwanong ke na le di-subscribers tse million. The way bang harassang ka teng ko tshore ke na le voice e utlwagalang. I am audible. Ke a tshosa. Mara ona motho tshabang ko corporate. I'm sorry. I've created a reputation for myself. Godzilla footstep ga ke kena mo toropong go ba le earthquake. But that little earthquake is nowhere but on social media. Ke mo teng mo ke causing the waves, the shock waves lankut to a point of this level of harassment and persecution. Go corporate le tlo mpona fela as somebody's PA, secretary, administrator. Ha le tlo bona next kan. Hello bona next. I'm not going to be patronized in that space. To pierce through in the space where I'm at. And I'm going to finally break through. I'm going to break through. Never again are people going to harass me like this. The content creators the subscribers about I've been crying to God. Still big is a job interview.